It is the season for parties and for some Zoom gatherings, and I'm going to show you how you can look good behind the camera but with two looks. One is going to be with a shimmer and a shine, and the other is going to be a matte. I'm also going to show you a clever little trick to cover those wrinkles and crow's feet. Hello lovely people, welcome to my YouTube channel Hey Spring Chicken. My name is Cordelia, and if you're a returning viewer, so pleased to have you back. And if you're new here, welcome. Today's topic, 2 ways of looking gorgeous. I am going to show you the best way to look good behind this viewfinder. Some of you really like matte foundation, and I know many of you have concerns, and I'm going to show you a way of how you can use matte efficiently and still look good without caking over. I'm also going to show you the dewy skin, the softer side, the more glass skin. Now I know for a lot of you that too can be perceived as not right for my age bracket. Well, I'm going to show you a way that is going to blow your mind, because I found a foundation that I thought this can't work, but it did. In addition, I'm going to show you a trick for your wrinkles and your under eye. You're going to be amazed. One half is going to be matte, the other half is going to be shimmer, but we will have the same blusher, eyes and lips. So let's talk products. I'm going to use the MAC foundation for my right side, and this is Studio Fix. I will talk more about it as we apply it. And on the left side, I'm going to use a cream that you've probably never heard of, and it's Cica BB cream. Again, we will talk more about that as we apply. In addition to that, I'm going to use a luminous primer for my left side and a plain primer for my right side. One is NYX Marshmallow. This little tip here for you. I love luminous primers, and my absolute favourite was the L'Oreal Magic primer. I absolutely loved it. Now, no longer sold. Can't get it anywhere. This has taken its place. A Korean product, Heimish Artless Glow Base. You will be forgiven if you haven't heard of it before, because I hadn't either. So those are the products I'm going to use for my foundation. We will talk in more detail as I apply them. The other products I'm going to be using will be exactly the same both sides, and I will keep it as simple as I possibly can, but giving the best effect. Oh, by the way, I'm not sponsored by anyone, but I will add affiliate links below, and if you click and buy, I will receive a teeny tiny commission, for which thank you. So you're joining me now, barefaced and vulnerable, and I've got all these marks that I have to cover, so I'm going to show you 2 ways of looking gorgeous. And we're going to start with primer from Heimish. I'd never heard of this before, but boy, I was glad. So let me show you. It's obviously pink, so we'll put this on one side of my face, and then we'll put the other on my right. Rub in. And it's got a slight iridescent to it. It feels really light. This is what you would call a primer. It doesn't actually say primer, it says glow base. Now, years ago, before we had primer, we would have things like base or canvas, but by another name, it's a primer. So you put this on before your foundation, and the reason you do that is A, because it makes the pores look smaller, but B, you'll want something to help the foundation last. So I'm putting this on one half, and I don't know if you can see, there's a slight shine, and nothing on that side. On the other side, I'm going to use NYX Marshmallow. Most of you have heard of NYX. Again, a sort of similar look, in fact, a very similar feel. As you can see, a lot thicker, more like a cream, but it is a very good base. Now, the NYX primer is around about £9. The Heimish was around about £9. I will add all the detail on the screen. So there we are with 2 bases. You let that dry a little. This is almost dry. We're now going to apply this cream. You apply with your fingers. You think, that looks like putty. This is called light beige. So you can see how this is really covering. It's amazing. Although it looks dark and you think this can't be right, I'll show you how dark it looks. You rub it in to the hairline with your fingers, not with a sponge, because this is a BB cream. I won't use it too much under my eye. I will show you a clever trick for that. But this gives the dewy look that you will be after. So hopefully you can see that this has got a slight shimmer to it. It does dry very quickly. I will be using MAC matte foundation. It's called Studio Fix. I actually did a review of this a year and a half ago, and it was the MAC versus the Elizabeth Arden, and at the time I chose the Elizabeth Arden. It pipped it just at the post, but subsequently and since then I have purchased this and I love it. I am not usually a fan of matte foundation, and that is because I have extraordinarily dry skin, and a matte will often become very cakey and I can't use face powder on it to settle it, so I tend not to use it, and I know that a lot of you there have the same problem. So we're going to look at a foundation that I believe you can use. Now this one cost me £31. Here's the kicker, it didn't come with a pump, and I had to pay an additional £5 for a pump. So MAC, I'm a bit cross with you on that one, and I am using shade NW15. So in total, this cost me £36. Is it worth it? Well, I'm going to show you. We're going to apply with a brush. This actually is an Etude House brush, which I really like. I shall only use half the MAC, because I'm only doing half the face. There you can see, slightly darker than my skin. What I like to do is dab it on and then just brush it in. Some people put it on the brush. I like to do it like this. The cover is unbelievable. Now I would dab a bit into the areas missed. I do like using brushes. I also like using a sponge. Now straight away you can see that it looks a little heavier on my jowls, so we've got to somehow lighten that up. Now you can still see that I've got marks there, and I need to cover them, and these are quite dark. We want to do something about those. So what I'm going to do is add a little serum under my eye. TRINNY says that if concealer and serum had a baby, this is what they'd have. You can use a brush, but I'm just going to dab it in with my fingers. My next product is Miracle Blur. This is a TRINNY Miracle Blur, and I'm going to show you something. I add this where I want to blur out my wrinkles, particularly now I put on a matte foundation. They seem to highlight the jowls. So this is like poly filler. So I put it in up there, up there. TRINNY doesn't suggest this. This is something I found. Underneath my eyes, in the creases. TRINNY's just a touch. Doesn't look like I'm going to get rid of this red bit today. I shall try again in a minute. So this little red here is a sore. I have to be a bit mindful not to ladle on too much makeup because it'll just aggravate it. But I do want to conceal it. So what I'm going to do now is add some L'Oreal the Tint Idéal. So this is a concealer that I'm now putting on top of the Miracle Blur NYX Wonder Stick. So I do like this. I just do. I use a foundation brush for this. As it's for camera, we can be a little more generous with the bronzer. And I'm also going to show you a little tip. We'll be able to do it on this side, but perhaps not so much on there. At the other end of the NYX Wonder Stick is a highlighter. So I'm going down there. And that lifts the jowl. And because this side is shimmer anyway, it disappears. Some of you may not worry about it. Some of you may do. And that's why I showed you. If I can make myself look younger longer, I do. So I'm going to use a TRINNY bronzer. This colour is called Gaia. Dab my brush in, my little kitten brush. Just gives a little bit more definition to the cheekbone. Lord & Berry bronzer. Tap it off. Next little trick is the SENNA highlighter. This I use on a lot of places and I will show you. I use it all over my face, not for during the day, but certainly at night. Even there. Using an angled brush, you just highlight above there and down the center, and of course on the eyes. This is quite a bold look, but as I say, it is for when we're behind the camera or when we're out at parties, Zoom gatherings. Nevertheless, love shine and sheen. I'm going to add a blusher. We're going to use a liquid blusher by Studio 10, so a little bit on the back of my hand, and you only need a tiny little bit. Dab, ring finger, just above the apple of the cheeks, and use the other finger to wipe it out. Moving on to the eyes now, I'm going to keep it as simple as I possibly can. I am just going to use 2 cream eyeshadows. These are Eye to Eye from TRINNY. You just rub your finger to just collect a tiny bit, dab, and I run it along there. We blend it in. It's really as simple as you can possibly make it. Can you believe it? 2 weeks ago and I've still got that sty. Then I'm going to use a slightly darker shade. This is called Magician, that was called Virtue. And I'll add, using this teacup brush, TRINNY. I use that one, and I'm just going to go under the eyes, like that, over the top, and then I will blend it out. Tiny bit in the corner, just to give it some little bit of depth. See that little end? So easy when you want to get close to the mirror. Long handled brushes don't work for me anymore. And then take it up. Same thing over here. I added the eyebrows off camera. This is Charlotte Tilbury's Cheat Brow, which is pretty good. I'm going to just put some mascara on. The one I am using is my current fave, number 7 Stay Perfect, which is a tubing mascara. And why I like it, it never smudges. That's so just adding the tubing mascara and keep it my eyes as simple as possible. I'm going to add a liner around my lips, Lord & Berry crayon. So very simple. Because I'm a girl that loves shimmer, I'm going to use another TRINNY product. This is Lip to Cheek, and this colour is called Mako. It's really easy to apply. I'm using a little tea kit brush. Another Studio 10 product. This is called Take 10 Years Off You Lip Plumping Balm. Long title, but it works. So I just use a fixing spray. Hopefully, haven't smudged my eyes. The reason you add a fixing spray, well, it's obvious, it fixes the makeup, particularly the shimmer, because that might be slightly damp. So now you can see the shimmery side, and now I've completely made over. There's very little difference. It's how it feels to me and how it lasts the evening. So what do you think is better?
I think shimmer.
I'm a shimmer person as well, but has to be said, but if you do like matte, then it's the MAC Studio Fix. I really rate it. Also the Elizabeth Arden, but this is really good. And even in the last year, I have found my skin has responded differently. One of the things I didn't mention prior to putting on my matte foundation, and is crucial, is the moisturisers and the serums that you put on prior to that. I will add all of the products that I used before I applied any of the foundations. It is vital, particularly with the matte side, that you do have a really good serum and moisturising base. This is the look that I've gone for. This is how I feel it looks better on camera, because I have masked what I would call my jowls and the things that I don't really like. The other thing, of course, is lighting. At the moment, we've got natural light behind us, and that is great. But when I'm doing Zoom gatherings, I can't stick my, well, I can hold my camera like that, but that doesn't always work. So I have a neat little trick that you might like to use. But this little gadget is brilliant. It came from IKEA. Let's put it on, and you've got different shades. How great is that? And honestly, if you're on a Zoom meeting and you haven't got natural light, You put your camera on there. This cost $29.99 and I purchased it from IKEA, so it's there for everyone. And I had a look on the US IKEA and it's actually cheaper there than it is here, and I use it a lot. There we are, two styles. We have the matte, we have the shimmer, the dewy skin look, which is my preference, and we also have talked about the lighting. I love this time of year, but I do like to keep it simple, and that is what I hope you take from it. Keeping it simple is my motto. So if you liked it, press the like button. Leave your comments. Reading your comments really helps and inspires me, and also tells me what you like to see in future and what you don't like to see. Also, and with that, ding the bell. Dinging the bell will alert you to content that we're uploading like this every single week. And subscribe, because by subscribing it lets the algorithm know that I'm doing something right, and we will continue. But in the meantime, and if you've made it this far, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day, morning, evening, week, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you soon. Thank you.